Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Darren, aka Dizzy's Teacher, and welcome to my latest stitch with me. So today we're going to be working on this piece, zoom out a minute, which is Chief Eagle Spirit. So I'm currently in this area around here, so page 2. So this is where we're up to at the moment. So we're going to get some working on this, and I'm going to start filling in up here. I've left this part for now because that's all my favourite metallic stuff, so that don't think will be fit to broadcast. Let's put it that way. So let's get into doing some stitching. So you may have to bear with me as well. This one is actually on a paper chart, so I'm going to be doing a lot of looking away and highlighting. So I hope everybody is well. And you've all been keeping safe. I know a lot of places at the moment are getting snow. You're the lucky ones. It's one thing I miss about the UK is the snow. I like the snow. I used to love driving in it because you know nobody else would be on the roads. The only thing I didn't like with the snow is the cold. But hey, it is what it is. So today we're going to see how long we can make this video go. Let's see if we can get a decent length stitch with me. So, right. Oh, before I go into a lot of random stuff, well, think on. Somebody mentioned before that they liked my ring. So, bit of a funny story with regards to this. You can't really see it, but it has my name stamped on it. There. So, with this ring, now, for people who are in the UK, you've probably heard of these. For people outside the UK, you probably haven't. But when I was younger, there was a company called Park Hampers. And basically, it was one of these companies where you get like food hampers and stuff like that, and you can pay it off over time, and then it all gets delivered like towards Christmas. Well, obviously, they don't just do hampers; they do all sorts, and this is where my ring is from. So I've had this ring now, must be about 20 years. So originally I was running the hampers place, and I had a couple of people wanting hampers. But as with everything, you get a lot of people who want things but then decide they don't want to pay for them. So needless to say, long story short, it got towards when all the payments had to be finalised and made, and a couple of people decided they wanted to cancel their hampers but wanted their money back. Now obviously the money you pay directly to the company, so they used to give it to me and I used to pay it to the company. So I had to give them their money back and cancel their orders. So due to having to mess around sorting all that out, I cancelled the ring as well, because until I got the money back from the hampers, there was no way I was going to be able to afford to pay the ring off, because I'd had to use that money to pay everybody else. So I cancelled the ring as well. So they turned around and said, yep, everything's cancelled, not a problem. So this was would have been probably around about November time. The stuff doesn't get sent out to you till December. So I cancelled it in November, and then in December my ring turned up. I was like, okay, but that got cancelled. So I contacted the company. I said, look, I cancelled this ring and you've sent it out to me again. And they was like, oh, yeah, we can see that you've cancelled it. And it's like, oh, it's been engraved as well, hasn't it? So, well, it's engraved, etched, it's got my name on it. And I went, yeah. They went, oh, happy Christmas. So I got a free ring. And I was like, sweet. So, at the time, this ring was, I think it was something like £100. So that's about 200 Australian dollars at the time. So bear in mind, this was about 20 years ago. So I don't know how much it would be now. So yeah, so needless to say, I got a free ring. All because it got my name put on it. I was like, excellent. So needless to say, this ring has not been off my finger ever since, because there's no way they're having it back. So that's the story behind that ring. So, right. Because I've been talking, I've not even been counting. 2 seconds. So as per normal, I need to stitch just past the hoop. So that's not happening. So we'll just have to see how we go. You ever find that when you're using the hoops, you can always guarantee you put your hoop where the last couple of stitches need to be. Happened on my dolphin piece as well, that World of Water. That one, I've missed the top corner. So say this is the top corner here. So there were like 2 stitches I couldn't get to because of the hoop. Even though I'd moved it and thought I'd counted correctly. Nah, still couldn't do it. So, well, let me just mark these off. The only thing when doing things on paper charts is you always have to stop to highlight where you're going. And then you always have to recount just to make sure you've done the right amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30. And now I've lost my needle. There we go. So again, if you're not aware, guys, if you haven't watched my latest update video, what's my needle? There is a giveaway on my latest update. So if you are interested, it's doing a chart from the Cross Stitch Studio. Well, it's doing a voucher for a chart. So if you are interested in that, hop on over to the main video and just leave your comment on there, because that one will be getting drawn on Saturday. Now is the time where I have to now try and decide what I'm going to talk about to make this video last. And I have no idea. Oh, I know what I can talk about. So, prior to me moving over to Australia, now forgive me Just 1 second, I need to get a converter up on here so I can tell everybody what I'm talking about in the way that they know things. Right, so prior to coming over to Australia, I weighed 10.5 stone. So that is 165 kilos, or 147 pounds. So that's what I used to weigh. Obviously, when I got to Australia, I weren't allowed to work for the first 3 months. So I was sat around doing not a lot. Well, the only thing I was doing was my Majestics Tiger cross-stitch piece, because that was the only thing I could do. And then a bit of dynamo painting in between as well. So I put on 20 kilos. So that would be about 45, 50 pounds. Yeah, so that would have took me up to, I think it works about 13.5 stone. So needless to say, all the clothes I brought over with me no longer fit. So I had to go out and buy all new clothes. So obviously, moving around, all my clothes stayed in suitcases from moving to the properties. And I was like, come on. I was like, okay, I'll get the weight off. Normally I'm pretty good at maintaining my weight. All my jobs I've worked in, I've always been on my feet near enough and walking around having to do stuff. So I thought, well, it shouldn't be a problem at all getting my weight off. Started working over here, and I started in a petrol station. I was the night person, so I used to work from midnight till 6 in the morning. And my job was doing all the, like, besides serving customers, was doing all the cleaning and restocking the shelves and everything like that. So I was always on the go. So I thought, well, I'm bound to get some of this weight off. Yep, I lost nothing. I was like, okay then. Anyway, I then started working where I am now, which is at the timber yard. Now that one's obviously a bit more of a physical job, which I'm having to carry the timber, cut it up, re-stack it, move it away. So there, I managed to lose some of the weight. So I lost 10 kilos. So that took me down from 86 kilos to 76 kilos, or about 12 stone and 100 and whatever it is, 67, something like that, pounds. It's a bit hard when you've got to convert it for everybody. So I was like, yep, no worries, I can keep this up. So I'll soon be able to fit back in my clothes in no time. So bearing in mind, this was, I've worked for the company now just over 1.5 years. Yep, I'm still stuck exactly where I was. My clothes that I brought over from the UK are still in my suitcase, because I still can't fit in them. So I still keep trying, but my weight keeps fluctuating. I'll lose a little bit, like 1 or 2 kilos, and then it'll come back on again and be in like a week. And you're like, oh, come on, just give me the break. Just let me get back into my clothes. So for the last 1.5 years, I've been trying to get back into my clothes from the UK, because a lot of them are, obviously, if you're from the UK, you know, like, you need a lot of winter clothes. Now over in Australia, it does get pretty cool when it gets to winter. So it's like, I could do with fitting into my winter clothes. because it's all my jeans, my jumpers, everything like that. Yep, still can't get into the bleeding things. Still in suitcases, under the bed. One day I will refit into those. I think what I need to do is start going for walks. Because although I'm pretty active at work, I don't walk as much as I used to do. So before, I used to walk everywhere. Even though I had a car, if it was within walking distance, I'd walk. Never used to drive everywhere like some people do. I always used to walk. So some of these walks were a fair distance. So I think obviously that helped with keeping the weight off. I mean, as a matter of fact, I think the majority of my family is on the larger side. But they're all obviously happy with the sizes that they are. Me, on the other hand, I've always been one of these where I've always been self-conscious of my weight. So if I notice things, clothes are getting a bit tighter, then I'll look at what I'm eating and change it and everything like that, just to maintain my weight. Now, when we were younger, my twin brother was the thinnest out of everyone. He was all skin and bones. He used to eat, but he was always so skinny. But he always used to be really energetic as well. He was always running around and stuff like that. Mind you, we all were. So yeah, so my twin brother was the skinniest. Then it probably would have been maybe me and then my elder brother. But we was all skinny. We all used to keep active. Because obviously back then you didn't have all your tablets and computer games and all that stuff. So you went outside in the morning and you came back when the street lights came on. Or when your mother wanted you and shouted you in. So it was always active. And then obviously, so you get older, you don't do as much exercise as you used to do. Because you're not out playing all the time and you're working and everything like that. So my twin brother started putting on a bit of weight, and he just continued putting on a bit of weight and then a bit more weight. And then my elder brother decided to start catching up and he put on a fair bit of weight. And needless to say, both of those two are now probably about 3 times the size, if not more, than what they were when we were younger. I think I'm the only one really that's kind of maintained sort of my weight. And they always mock me for it. Always call me the skinny one and say I'm going to disappear. But both of my brothers, they like well, obviously they like their food. My twin brother takes after my dad and has a really sweet tooth. And my elder brother likes his junk food. Now, the thing with my elder brother, he's also a vegetarian. And I always say to him, if you're a vegetarian and you're always constantly eating vegetables, which are supposedly meant to be good for you, why are you the size that you are? I was like, I don't know. So obviously you're either eating too much vegetables or you're eating a load of rubbish. And 9 out of 10, it's a load of rubbish. If you can't be bothered to cook, he will get a takeaway. So 9 out of 10, it's a pizza. And I don't just mean a small pizza. He will get maybe a 12-inch pizza and sit and eat it to himself. and then they moan then that their clothes are cutting into them, or they've got to go out and buy yet more clothes. And it's like, well, if you're moaning about it that much, do something about it. But they won't. My elder brother, he's a stickler for Red Bull. So, and it's like, you do know how much sugar's in a Red Bull, don't you? And how much caffeine's in a Red Bull. It's like, yeah, but I like it. And it's like, yeah, fair enough, have 1 or 2 cans every now and then. Well, in the space of a week, he has like 4 cans of Red Bull a day. And I'm not talking the small cans either, he has the huge cans. It's like, yeah, you really need to cut down on that. It's not good for you at all. Yep, I will do. And then you'll see him a couple of weeks later, and it's like, have you stopped getting Red Bull? Well, I've stopped buying it. All right, instead I'll get somebody else to buy it for me instead. It's like, that's not helping that at all. So, I mean, my dad was on the large side, and he had, I think it was a total of 4 heart attacks. He had a quadruple heart bypass. He had a pacemaker put in. Both my brothers always said, I'm not going to end up like that. That's not going to be me. And then they started putting on the weight. And it's like, I mean, you're going to end up like that in a minute if you don't stop. So, they keep saying they're going to do something about it. Now, we have, you've probably got it where you use ours as well, program called Weight Watchers. So, my twin brother decided he was going to use Weight Watchers to lose some weight. Now, Weight Watchers, as you know, do like cake bars and stuff like that, so that you can still get your treats. Yeah, my brother will sit and eat a full packet of cake bars because they're Weight Watchers. So they're not as bad for you, apparently. It's like, yeah, they're not as bad for you in moderation. You can't just sit and eat a full box of cake bars. It's like, why? It says there are only so many calories. Like, yeah, but you're meant to have a balanced diet. He doesn't look at it that way. So yeah, he makes me laugh. And then he just recently he joined another slimming company, Slimming World I think it's called, or something like that. And that one, he was well chuffed because he was the biggest loser for 4 weeks running, and each week he lost 1 pound. And it's like, so you lost 1 pound and you were the biggest loser for 4 weeks running. Obviously people are not doing things right where you're going. But he was chuffed. He got a certificate and everything to say he was the biggest loser of the month by losing 4 pounds. That was funny. Yeah. I'll tell you what, let's maybe look at doing some of this metallic stuff. I'm working this part here. The only thing when you're doing the half stitches, it's a bit hard to count and look at the chart at the same time, especially when you're talking as well. So let's see what the metallics are. And by the looks of it, these were half stitches as well. It's not what I wanted. What's this one? Oh no, hang on. I found one that's not E317. So this piece has plenty of different colour metallics. And I hate metallics. Don't know if I've ever told you that before, but I hate metallics. I've got load of metallic here I've just pulled off, and I don't know what it's for, that one. I know now for what number I wanted. 317. Ooh, that one. Now I need to try and split. How many strands is it? 2 strands. Oh, that's right, I can double it. Kind of getting a knack of splitting the metallics now. Kind of. I think that's just 1 strand. It's 2 strands. I lied. I don't have the knack of splitting them now. There we go. Split. So, as I said in my latest update, work hasn't been too bad. And now I've lost my needle. Oh, what's going off here? It's lying on the back. So yeah, work kind of picked up a little bit. Wasn't going too bad. We were getting, no, I can't thread this. We were getting plenty of timber in. And it's coming up to a public holiday over here. So by the time you're actually watching this, public holiday will be over because it's on Tuesday, the 26th. It's Australia Day. So it was like, okay, so we've got enough timber to last us. And then it was all coming in well. And then it stopped coming in. Now I don't know if this is due to the public holiday or what, coming up. But all of a sudden it stopped coming in. So by Friday, we were left with hardly any timber whatsoever. And we have to go into work on Monday. Because how work looks at it is if we go in on, because we wanted to change it to going in Tuesday and having Monday off, so we had a long weekend. But how work looks at it is if we do that, they've got to pay us double time for Tuesday. It's like, no, we'll just swap the days off. So we'll just come in on Monday, pay normal time, and have have Monday off and come in on Tuesday and just get paid normal time. But no, they won't have any. So we're going to go into work on Monday, knowing the fact that probably no wood will turn up whatsoever. So hopefully it's going to be an early day. Hopefully. Right. If you've used metallic before and you struggle with keeping it tight when you're stitching, a little trick for you. If you're doing it with 2 strands, do it as though you're going to secure it to your needle. Hang on, let me zoom out a little bit. Right. So you get your loop and thread your floss through it. And that will anchor it to your needle part there. If it'll focus, no, probably not. And then, if you, where your 2 ends meet, just knot it, he said. And that keeps the 2 strands together. And then when you're stitching, it doesn't slide all over the place. So you always get a nice tight tension. That was a little trick I discovered. That's what I've been using to do this, because, as you know, me and metallics do not get on at all, but it kind of works. And the fact that I also now know that you can split metallics, whereas before I couldn't, so on this side here, you can just see the shiny metallic here. Yeah, that's all 6 strands. So it doesn't tell you when you buy metallics that you can split it. So how are you meant to know? And the only way I found out you could split it was I was getting fed up when I was doing my, you can't even see this, when I was doing my London piece. Because the metallics was just constantly knotting and stuff like that. And it always looked like you could split it. But every time I tried it, just knotted up. So I googled it, as you do. And it brought up a YouTube video showing you how to split your metallics, and then also giving a rough guideline of how to use it. I didn't show you that, we told you to anchor it to your needle, but it didn't tell you about tying the knot. So obviously I was using it and it was still tangling up and everything. So then I thought, well, if I tie a knot in it, it's going to secure both strands together. And it worked. Unlike me filming. And filming in the wrong spot where you can't even see. So yes, it worked fine. So since then, that's all I've done. Just do the loop around my needle and then tie a knot in the end. And I've had no problem with it. If you're like me and you always catch your thread with your finger, it won't pull it out either. What do you think? Oh, somebody also asked as well, why do I hold my floss when it's going like through the hole? I don't do that. So this is from, oops, sorry for knocking the camera. This is from when I was starting cross stitch, and obviously didn't know about having your strands at a certain lengths and stuff like that. I was always getting knots. I used to dangle my floss and everything to undo it, but I found that if I hold it as it's going through, it doesn't tangle up. So I'll hold it at the front and I'll also hold it at the back as well. So when it's coming through from the back, I hold it with my underneath hand, and then coming through at the top, I do it that way. You still get the odd knot every now and then, but not as many as I used to get. So if you see me doing that, that's why. But obviously, since I now have my lengths at a manageable size instead of humongous sizes, it's just a habit now of holding it when it's going through. Because I've got that used to doing it, it's just maintained it. I also had another video as well asking why I call myself Dizzy Stitcher. So if anyone here is new and you've not seen my video, the reason I'm called Dizzy Stitcher is Dizzy is my nickname from the UK that I was given by my auntie, again about 20 years ago. I don't know why, she just decided to start calling me Dizzy. Well, originally it was Dizzy Dazzy, is what she used to call me, and then it just got shortened to Dizzy, and then it just kind of stuck. Then all my family started calling me Dizzy. Started with my cousins first, and then my mum started calling me it, and my brothers, and it just stuck, so everyone just calls me Dizzy. So that's how I came up with the name of Dizzy Stitcher. Dizzy's my nickname, and I'm stitching. So if you've not heard that before, that's how I came up with that channel name. And then down. Metallic's not that bad when you've got no stitches around it. It's as soon as you get stitches around it, that's when it all starts being a pain. I'm trying to remember where you are in your chart's even worse. 4. So this piece, I can't remember if I said I wanted to get this one finished or at least get 2 pages done for my year goals. So we'll see how we go with that one. Hopefully when I get to the bottom half there's not so much metallic in that one, which I don't think there is. I think that's all just full crosses, whereas this top part is all half stitched and full crosses and then metallics, and I think the other pages don't have the metallics in there, which is good. Well, the effect that you get from the metallics is really good. It's just a nightmare to stitch with. Can you tell I really do not like metallics? Now, can I do this? Now the only thing with doing it this way, with looping it around your needle, is your needle doesn't move. So sometimes you have to struggle to get your last stitch in. And then when you finish with it, you then struggle to get it off your needle. And you end up having to cut the loop. I always, if I've left myself enough thread, try and double loop it through my stitches as well when I'm finishing, just so it's really anchored down, because I find with the metallic it also likes to come back out again once you've stitched it, if it's not secured in properly at the back. Let's see if I can get this off. This is the back of this piece. As you can see, again, it's a complete mess. You can always see whether I've done the one colour, because all the front was the main blue. So nice and neat with them parts, and then you get to the part where it starts getting a bit more confetti area and it's like, yay, that's a mess. And now, this part I'm talking about, you can't just pull it off your needle. Sometimes I can get it by just pushing up on it, but sometimes it's a pain and you end up having to get your scissors in and cut it off. Like that. That's what I love about metallics. Not. Right. And I need another strand. So, as you guys know, I've got the pandemic pattern, and I really want to get that one started. And I'm hoping this week my floss will be here for it. So I've been spoiled, and I have bought some Mrs. Sada's silk. And now I've got 2 hanks of it coming. I think it's called hanks, the really big ones. I think it's called hanks. So I've got 2 hanks of it coming. One is in the colour Supernova, I think it is. It's really like orangey colours. And the other one is in one called Pride, which is also rainbowy kind of colours. So they look nice. Now, from everyone I've heard who's used Mrs. Sada silks, they are really nice silk to work with. So I'm hoping that when it turns up, it will look alright, and then I just need to find a fabric to work on. So you see people doing like the pandemic, everyone I've seen during the pandemic, majority of people anyway, are doing it on like low counts fabric, so like 14 count or 16 count, and it's like, okay, am I missing something here? Why is no one really doing it on higher counts? Well, apparently there's backstitching in it in certain areas. So doing it on the, obviously the lower counts, 14 count stuff like that, makes it easier for doing the backstitch. And what's that? But that's just going to mean that your piece of fabric is absolutely huge, which I don't want. I don't mind doing big pieces, as you know, but I don't want to be doing something that can be done on a smaller count a lot bigger. Anyway, I was watching Brenda, Handwork Maniac, is that her name? I think that's the channel, Handwork Maniac. And she's done, was it a modern folk embroidery one? And she's done it on 25 count. And that one I think has got backstitching in it as well. So I was like, right, so I'm going to do at least on a 25 count. I've seen a couple of people doing it on 32 count, but I don't know if they realise that there is backstitching in it. So they've only done it from like the border and that so far, so they've not actually gone into any of the backstitching parts. So I'm intrigued if any of you have done it. What size count have you done it on? And with your backstitching, has it worked out? So I'm hoping that one hank of silk will be enough to do the pandemic. Because on the bottom of the pandemic chart, it does tell you certain size fabrics and how much meter wise or something like that floss you will need. So people have been putting on, like for the skeins, they needed like 50 odd skeins or something like that of it. It's like, damn, that's a lot. So I worked it out. I think the lowest they show on there is I think it's a 32 count, but doing it over 2, so that would work out at what, 16 count. Let me just snip that little bit of a tail off there. Don't know how that's come through. And with the hank, it works out quite enough if I do it over 1, which is what I want to do. I was going to do it on 28 count over 1, but when someone said there's backstitching, it's like, oh, well, you're not going to see the backstitching if I do it over 1, so I'd have to do it over 2, which again would mean that the piece of fabric would be absolutely huge. So I'm going to try it on 25 count over 1, and then I should have enough. I haven't decided which fabric to use yet, whether to get coloured fabric or just plain fabric. I'll decide that when I see the silks. And if it's a decent colour, well, then it's kind of then trying to find out what fabric I want to do it on. But I think that should be fun. I mean, because obviously I'm getting 2 hanks. My brother is buying me Anzac when he gets paid. So I'll have 2 long dog samplers to do. So I might use the other silk for the other long dog sampler. But we will see. So my brother has also picked out his charts that he wants me to do. So this is the one I was sent the Mini Deer Creek to. So he's picked out not 1 but 2 charts he wants me to do for him. So one is by Heaven and Earth, which is Winter Wonderland, I think it's called. I forget what it's called, but I think it's called Winter Wonderland. So it's like a Christmassy scene with 2 deers and a tree. In the tree there's some like cardinals and stuff like that. Looks nice. So he wants that one doing. And then there's another one on the Cross Stitch Studio. Again, don't know what it's called, can't remember. But that one's a book and a doe in like a winter scene. So he really likes that one too. So because he couldn't make his mind up, he asked if I'd do both of them for him. So again, when he gets paid, he's going to give me the money for getting the charts and the fabric for those. I told him not to worry about any flosses for it yet, because I've got plenty of floss here to get it started. And then I've just told him if I run out of floss, then I'll just let him know and he can buy me some more. That's the good thing with converting the money from the UK to Australia. You get twice the amount of money. So if he sends me $10, that gets me $20 over here. Well, if he sends me £10, that gives me $20. So that should get him a fair few skeins of floss. So yeah, so they're going to look good. Obviously, when he gets paid. When does he get paid? His payday changes all the time. I think it's every 28 days or something like that he gets paid. So it'll either be just before the end of the month or just after, and he gets paid again next. So then I'll be able to get the charts. But what I might do is just going to put the money in my bank. So I might hold off until Heaven and Earth have a sale on again, so then it won't be as expensive to buy the chart, which means I can buy more floss. And then the fabric, I get that from over here from a store called JK's Cross Stitch Supplies. And they're shut at the moment because they're having a shop built and transferring everything from, it was just a Facebook page, so they're moving everything from the Facebook page onto an actual website. So that's in the process at the moment, and that one's due to open up next week. That means I can start getting fabric again for kitting up my other pieces. Which is going to be fun, because then I have to try and work out which fabric I want and which piece I want to start. I was actually thinking about this yesterday, and it's like, right, do I start them once I've got the fabric and that for them, or do I wait until Mania and then start everything that I've got ready to go? And it's like, and it's like, well, Mania's still 4 months away yet. And it's like, some of them I really want to get started. I mean, it's like, as I said before, like the ones that have been gifted by people, I want to get them done first. Now, obviously, I've got a couple of kits from Angelo, so I can start those at any point. I think I've got the odd 1 or 2 kits from Annette as well. So it's like, so do I just start them ones? Do I wait till Mania? Or what? So, what do you guys reckon? Should I start them whenever? Or should I just wait till Mania and then do a big Mania start? And do like as many projects as I can. Well, start as many projects as I can in Mania. So let me know your opinions on that one. Because if I start it in Mania, it gives me time to try and get some work done on the projects I've got. If I start them now, then it's like everything. You get a new chart, or you get a new project, and you're just like, oh, I've got to work on it now. It needs to be worked on all the time. And so you just mainly slowly work on that one. Forget about your other ones that you've had there for years and years and years, and just work on the new one until the next new pretty turns up. And then you start again. And then your pieces never get touched. So, let me know. What do you think? Start them now, or start them in Mania? Bearing that mind, say that again. Bearing in mind though, by the time Mania comes, it depends how many I've got kitted up. I mean, I've got 2 kits, 4, 5, maybe 7 kits. Some are only small, 2 are biggish. And then I've got the 2-tier governor ones as well. So that's only maybe about 10. So, sorry about that. My phone just went off. So that's only about 10, so it's like I can split that out evenly, not a problem. Or do I wait and get some fabrics done as well so I can get those kitted up and get them started? I haven't decided. Right, what colour are we doing next? Might do a different colour other than metallics. Two strands of metallics is enough, I think. Let's go with that one. If I can find it. There it is. This one, surprisingly, has a lot of colours. It has about 70 colours in this piece. And I forgot what number I was doing. What number do I want? 413. This needle I'm using is the original needle as well that came with the kit. As you can see, it's a little bit tarnished, but it's not rough. So this is the original needle that came with the kit. And bearing in mind, I started this kit 2000 and trying to think now, maybe 2014, maybe. Yeah, probably about 2014 I started this kit, so I've not done too bad. Still got the needle. It looks tarnished, but it's still smooth. Right. So that's that one. So green. 1, 2, 1 there. I'm just about to say, damn, it's not 2 strands of thread bridges. So people should definitely see a bit of difference to this one when I do my next update. I also have a dilemma as well. I was working on the sampler the other night, and getting close to doing the page finish on it. And wouldn't you believe it? Guess who miscounted? That would be me, right at the start. So just grab it, it's right next to me. So, this angel here and these 2 motifs are in the wrong spot. So it's all up by, I think, 1 stitch. So these should be down here lower. This one is across this way 1 stitch and up 1 stitch. And this jumper here is 1 stitch short, so it should end up there. So I was counting up from here to try and get to my next angel that I've got to start for the page finish. And I was like, well, that's not level with where it needs to be for that one. And I was like, what's going on? And it took me ages. I was counting all these hollies around here. I was checking this one. Because as you can see, I mean, this one here nearly touches this band. And that one here should be nearly touching this band too. And I was like, oh, no, what's going on here? So yeah, so all that is wrong. And it's like, oh, I'm not ripping all that out. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to pull this motif out here because it's in the wrong spot anyway. I'm going to pull this motif out here, put this in the right spot, and then just start stitching the next angel in its correct location so it won't look out of place. I mean, you can't really tell that it's not right unless you follow this this line here, which is obviously what I did, but instead of thinking that there was the top of the stitch, I thought that was the bottom of the stitch, so I stitched above it. So, but it is what it is. It's like a couple of people said, you'll never know unless you point it out to someone. I'll never know, because I was like, I don't really want to have to frog all that. And I was like, well, it's hardly noticeable, so you can probably get away with it. Just try and adjust your pattern accordingly, so you're not off with everything else. So put everything else in the correct spot, and then if you're not happy with it, then frog it. And it's like, so I'm just going to frog that one motif, put that in its correct location, and carry on from there. Because also as well, with it being red fabric, red floss on the blue fabric, I don't want it to leave behind the red fuzzies, or whatever you want to call it, because then you'll be able to see that I've ripped something out, and because there's nothing being stitched in around it, it's going to stay there. So it's like, okay, so I'll leave the red. The grey is not too bad because that kind of blends in with the background anyway. So I'm going to rip the grey out, restitch that one in its correct spot, and then just continue from there. But yeah, I'm going to say I did a bit more work on that one because I want to try and get the page finished, because I say that one was for my whip goal for January, which is to get a page finished. So I say I pulled it out and I was like, oh no. So it kind of like, right, you're going away, I can't be bothered with you tonight. So I didn't work on it once I found out what I'd done. So now I can pull it out and just get on with it, because I've not got much to do on it, to be fair, for the page finish. I think I've got 4 little motifs to do, and then just the pink colour, which is like in for the berries. You can't even see what I'm stitching there, sorry. So I'm just going to crack on and do that bit. So hopefully, if I get my finger out, that page will be done by my next update. I am hoping. I'm also close to a page finish on my native wolf as well. And I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'm going to push to see if I can try and get the page finished on my tiger family as well. So with me being off Tuesday, it gives me an extra day to stitch on it. So because I'm doing the enchanted stitching challenges, those don't come out till Monday. So what I might do is see what they are, and on Monday just quickly put my 250 stitches in on the 4 pieces that I'm going to use for that one, and then, well, even just on 1 or 2 pieces, and then Tuesday it gives me a whole day for working on Supersized Tiger. So then I can get a decent amount of coverage done on that one. So if it's not going to be a page finish, it's going to be close to a page finish, because a lot of that page is like 2 colours, green and black, which doesn't bother me in the slightest. So you get a bit bored of just stitching on black all the time, so I switch it out and stitch a bit of green, and when I get bored of the green I go back to the black. I know there's a couple of ninja stitches in there as well, so they're different colours, so purples and stuff like that, just so that it makes the toucan stand out a little bit. So we'll see how we go. 1, 2, 3. Then we're 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then there. Look at this. Must be a new world record for me. I've already hit 59 minutes. So you wanted a longer stitch with me, you definitely got one this time. I wasn't even looking at the time. Jabbiting on and going for it. Yeah, that lines up with that one. Don't know if you guys do that as well. When you're stitching, you get to certain parts, you just like stop, make sure it lines up with the ones near it, and then just like, yep, that's in the right spot. Carry on in. I do it all the time, especially with the. Oh, hang on, we're not metallic, so I can do this one easily. Especially with the supersized tiger one, I always stop just to make sure that it's lined up with where it needs to be in conjunction with everything else on the page. Because as you know, I am rubbish at, for some reason, counting. That's one good thing I like about 14 count as well. You're able to do pin stitches easily. Except for when you're doing metallics, then you can't. Well, I can't anyway. Alright. So, we'll do one more strand and see what we're up to then time-wise. This has gone really, really quickly. I was speaking with my mum yesterday, and she said that my brother was going through her wardrobes, sorting out her clothes, because since she's had the stroke she's lost a fair bit of weight, to be fair. So my brother's going through and sorting out all her wardrobe. Now, my mum, in her wardrobe, has loads of clothes that I have it. 9 out of 10 she's not bought them. Somebody else has bought them for her. And she's never worn them. They're still in the wardrobe with the tags on. That's the price tags on. And they've been sat there for who knows how long. So sometimes she's tried them on. Later on she's like, oh, I can't fit into that, it's too small. Well, now they're all too big. So my brother's been going through all my mum's wardrobes and all his wardrobes and taking out everything that no longer fits them. I was like, okay, so what are you doing with it all then? I was like, oh, I don't know. He's either taking it to the charity shop or he's going to put it on eBay. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, have you not thought of trying them and seeing if they fit or whatever? She went, yeah, no, they're all too big. I was like, all right then. So yeah, so if you saw my mum's wardrobe at home, it was absolutely chocker, and I mean chocker. You couldn't fit anything else in there, but she still kept buying. Well, she still kept getting clothes. But with all the clothes that she had in there, she always used to have her favourite ones that she always used to wear. So it was always like the same, like 2 or 3 tops, and same couple of skirts. And it's like, you've got a wardrobe full of clothes, wear one of them ones. You know, they're for best. I was like, well, it's alright saying they're for best, but you don't go anywhere. So just get them worn. No, I don't want to look too dressed up just for going to the shops. It's like, you'll be fine, you're only going to the shops and then back home. Nah, it's fine, I'll just stick with these ones. She always used to wear the same ones all the time. But you generally find that, don't you? You get you've got comfy clothes. And that's it, once you go in your comfy clothes, it was tough. You're staying in your comfy clothes. And you always wore your comfy clothes. So yeah, that was my mum. I say, to be fair, I can't tell. I can tell she's lost weight, but I can't tell how much weight she's lost. Because every time I see pictures of my mum, like my brother sends over, she's always sat down. And she's either got a blanket round her or a cardigan on her or something like that. So you can't see how much weight you can tell in her face she's lost weight, but you can't actually tell how much she's lost. But obviously she must have lost a lot if she's having to get rid of all her clothes and buy new stuff. Either that or it's just an excuse so she can buy new clothes. I don't know, one of them. Because now, because she has the home help, she's not allowed to just go in the kitchen and make food herself. She has to wait for someone to be with her just to be on the safe side. So I think that's probably the main reason why she's lost a lot of weight, is because she has to wait for them to turn up before she can have anything to eat. Plus, when she was in hospital, all the food was liquidized until she got all the functions back for swallowing and stuff like that. So all the food was liquidized, so that put her off a lot of food because it all just tasted exactly the same. So it's like now, big brother will ask her what she wants and she's like, oh, I'm not really bothered. I'm not really hungry. I don't want anything. It's like, well, you gotta have something. Oh, I'll have a bowl of soup then. Whereas before, if you asked my mum what she wanted to eat, 9 out of 10 her answer was steak and chips, even though you knew she weren't going to get steak and chips because we couldn't afford steak and chips. And then she'd just eat whatever we had. But now she's like, no, I'll just have a soup or I'll just have a sandwich. So I think from her having a food all blitzed up was kind of put her off eating. Because everything just tasted exactly the same. Now, I don't know if obviously having the stroke has affected her taste buds or anything. But she still said things just taste all the same, so she's not bothered what she's eating at the moment. So it could be it's affected her taste and she's still waiting for it to come back. I have no idea. And the fact that she can only use one arm now, she finds it harder depending on what she's having to eat. Because if it's anything that needs cutting up, someone's got to cut it up for her because she can't manage it herself. So she prefers just to have things that's simple for her to manage. So 9 out of 10 is just something soft that she can eat with either a spoon or a fork. She was on about the vaccine that's coming out, that's being carried out over there, and one of her carers had it done the other day, and she was like, do you get to choose what arm to put it in? And I was like, no, they just put it in your non-dominant arm. And my mum was like, oh right. And she says to me, so that means I'm going to have it put in my right hand, in my right arm. And it's like, why would you have it in your right arm? She went, well, why wouldn't I? I says, because they put it in your non-dominant arm, which is your left arm, and you can't use your left arm anyway. I says, so why would they put it in your right arm when they know it's going to, well, one of the side effects is it gives you aching muscles and stuff like that. Says, so they're not going to put it in the only arm that you can use, they're going to put it in your one that you don't use at all. So she went, oh yeah, didn't think about that one. So she's quite happy now that she knows that it's not going in her right arm, it's going in her left. But she still hasn't had the phone call yet to say when she's having it. Which makes me laugh as well, because my brother is a carer, so he works with disadvantaged children. And he's not even had his injection yet. And it's meant to be for all healthcare personnel and stuff like that, from what I understand. But yeah, he's still waiting for his phone call and all, which you'd think, working with disadvantaged children and stuff like that, and children with special needs, that they would get them done straight away. But nope, he's still waiting. Oh, typical. Last little bit. trying to do a pin stitch and it comes out. Oh, great. Okay. I was doing a pin stitch the other day on one of my other pieces, on the supersized tiger one, and I forgot that on 25 count you can easily do pin stitches, because I tried doing it on a 28 count and it was like, nah, no way. So because nearly everything I've got now is on 28 count, I keep forgetting. So I went back to the 25 count. It's like, oh yeah, I could put a pin stitch in that. And then you forget how fun it is doing a pin stitch, or how not fun it is to do a pin stitch. So right, I think we're going to leave that there. So what we're at, an hour and 10 minutes. So just a little bit longer than normal. So what, 20 minutes longer than normal? So you have to let me know, guys. Is that too long? Is it all right? Do we do it the same length next time? You have to let me know. I enjoyed it. It's gone pretty quick, as I say. Sometimes you don't realise how quickly things go when you just sat rabbiting on about nothing and silly things that people may not be interested in. But it makes sense when you're doing it. I know not everyone watches while they stitch with me, they just like to listen, do whichever craft they want to. So whether it be knitting, sewing, housework. So whatever it is you've been doing during this hour-long session, I hope you got plenty done. I know I got a fair bit done, so we've done all this top part here, some metallic stuff, all this sprays, so yeah, not done too bad, I don't think. Probably could have done more if I hadn't done the metallic, but hey, there we go. So, right guys, so I'm going to leave it there. So again, any comments, feel free to drop those down below. As I say, just let me know if it's long enough for you, still too short, too long, however. Drop those down below. As I say, also if you've not entered the giveaway and you are interested, nip on over to my main update and get entered in that one. So you've got till Friday in order to do that one. Again, if you want to email me, you can do. Email address on there is dizzystitcher@gmail.com, or you can send me a message on Instagram. On there it's dizzystitcher. So until next weekend, when I do my next update, stay safe and happy stitching. And again, I will catch you soon. So thanks for watching, guys, or listening, or whatever you've been doing. Take care, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye bye for now.